Hey there. Welcome to classical Chinese egg drop soup recipe. Okay, we're going to learn to make egg drop soup today. I've got chicken necks and chopped garlic sauteing in this pan. I'm browning them right now. Once I get them browned, I'll add the water just to basically make a stock. The chicken necks are the cheapest portion of the chicken, but you can use a whole chicken if you're making a large quantity. I've also gone ahead and chopped some ginger. I've got fresh ginger. I've chopped into little slivers here. Little slivers of ginger for flavor. I'm also going to use 1 tomato and several eggs. We are also enjoying Yangjing beer. For your vocabulary lesson today, beer is pronounced PGO here in China. These are pretty good and brown. I'm going to go ahead and add some hot water. Get my water hot. I've noticed that the egg drop soup back home in the States has been modified with cornstarch. Here, you don't have that. It's not a thick soup. It's a thinner soup. It's really good. Very nourishing. Always good on a cold morning. That's what we're going to make today. Chinese version. And here goes our water. I'm going to go ahead and bring this to a boil very quickly. My stove gets super hot, so that shouldn't take too long. I'm going to add my fresh ginger. I'm going to chop my tomato. Usually when you see the tomato in the egg drop soup, it's sliced very, very thinly. So we're going to do that right now. Cut it very, very thin. Doesn't have to look pretty. It's going to all get mashed up anyway. That pot is coming close to being at a boil. So I'm cutting these slices in circles, but I'll cut those circles in half as well. I really want the tomatoes to render down. That's how it usually comes out of the kitchen. By the way, this is a dish I have at the school, at the school cafeteria, probably 3 times a week. Very popular. You'll notice I'm wearing my Attica t-shirts to show a little hometown pride. Miss you guys. Miss all you people back home. Having a good time though, eating some good food. Hopefully I can make some more complicated dishes for you in the future. Alright, gonna add those tomatoes. Gonna wash this off, clean as you go. I'm a clean as you go kind of guy. And we will, of course, have another slug of the Yangjing PGO. Just added a little more of this Chinese white pepper. Chinese white pepper. It's white peppercorns powdered down. stirring things with chopsticks. Okay, I've seen a couple versions of this egg drop soup. The first version is what we're making tonight. It's tomatoes, ginger, a little garlic, some pepper, and then of course your eggs with the chicken stock. I've also seen other versions where they put like baby cabbages, baby bok choy in there, and they add mushrooms, things like that. You can take this to another level. You can add ham, sausage, any sort of meat that you want. You can add some pork to it. That's pretty popular. You'd want to brown that meat along with your chicken neck when you make your stock, you know, before you add your water and all that stuff. And here we're starting to come to a boil. Give it another stir. Starting to smell pretty good. Yeah, that's boiling up nicely. Another swig of PGO. Traditional American chicken stock is usually made with a stalk of celery in there as well, adding some salt, things like that. They don't cook with a lot of salt over here, but that's always an option. The thing they don't use much of over here is dairy. I've been here since December 22nd. I've not eaten one dairy product. I have seen some kids eat yogurt and cheese. By and large, there's no dairy at all. I also haven't been in a car since December 22nd, which is really odd. Okay, the tomatoes are starting to render down a little bit, but I want to speed up that process. I'm going to cut the heat a little bit and kind of macerate them with a spatula. Here we go, we're macerating tomatoes. Oh yeah, rendering down pretty well. Yeah, they're rendering down. It's smelling pretty good. I can smell that ginger and that pepper. Okay. We do want to give it a little bit more time though. We want to make sure those necks are cooked all the way through. We want to get those that meat cooked at temperature. We just browned it, so we gotta make sure we boil it sufficiently. Cooking down very nicely. Groceries can be pretty cheap here. I bought 6 eggs, 20-ounce bottle of beer, and a small dish of ice cream for, well, it was 12 kwai, which amounts to about $2 US. So groceries are pretty cheap here. Produce is readily available. At the groceries, they have an amazing array of produce available, including probably 50 different kinds of mushrooms and fungus and things like that. Ready-made dumplings and such. I think that 6 eggs is going to be just the right amount. And as soon as our tomatoes are rendered down, we'll dump those eggs in there. First I'm going to pull the chicken necks out though. Those are going to go. Pull my trash can over here. There's one chicken neck. There goes another. Into the trash. All that remains, crack my eggs. First, Hey, cheers, America. Drop soup. Boom, there's one. And two. Or I could count in Chinese. I say E-R. San. Si. Wo. Liu. 1 through 6. All right, good. I'm going to bring it back up to a boil here, or let it come back up to a boil. Stir it a little bit. That egg cooks up pretty quickly. It shouldn't take very long. Meanwhile, I'll get out my serving bowl. Eating soup over here. The spoons are provided for soups, but by and large, they slurp them out of a bowl. Usually, soup and rice are served in large bowls like this. They're kind of like narrow and tall bowls instead of short, shallow ones like this. I'm going to pour it into this though, so you can maybe get a good look at what the finished product looks like. It is perfectly acceptable here to eat your rice like this, and it's perfectly acceptable to slurp your soup from the bowl. Different customs. Looks like we are done over here. Yeah, those eggs boiled up very, very nicely. Oh, we got one still kind of poaching now. Let's will turn the heat back up just a little. Got to bust up those yolks a little bit. Yeah. And you want to chop the egg. It might solidify in larger clumps. You don't want that. You want it evenly distributed throughout the soup. You can take your spatula or whatever and just kind of whisk it back and forth. You could use a wire whisk also. Boom, 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 boom. And then you just kind of bring everything to the surface, make sure it looks done to you. Okay, very good. And again, this is not the only variation. And egg drop soup is usually served in tandem with something else, some dumplings or some breakfast or whatever. But for those of you that raise chickens and can tomatoes and have a garden and things like that, very easy recipe. Pretty kid friendly too. You can make it very mild and plain, or you can get really fancy with it with extra ingredients. Let's pour this out, take a look at it. Woo, that dish is hot. It's a very, very hot dish. Okay, maybe you can see this, maybe you can't, I don't know. But that is what it looks like. And your finished product, let's see if we can get that on camera without spilling everywhere. Yeah, something like that. Something like that. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this, and again, it's much better than the version you see at the Chinese restaurants in America. Enjoy. If you try this out, let me know how it works for you. Bye-bye, America.